Scope of comparative religion and introduction. Comparative religion is considered an important field of academic studies that acquaints a person with other religions and contributes to interfaith dialogue. The study of comparative religion, as far as it is concerned with living religions, involves dialogue with believers insofar as it aims at effecting personal change in them. Even though the beginnings of comparative religion can be traced back to Greek antiquity, the roots of modern scholarship in the field lie in the 18th century, and the origin of comparative religion proper is commonly dated to 19th century. Its history has been described most recently by Sharp in his book Comparative Religion, A History. What is important in all this is the fact that comparative religion aims at representing all religious faiths in such a way that respective members can recognize them in its descriptions. An understanding of the task of comparative religion is necessary, as it is accepted by majority of scholars, namely the impartial study of the religions of the world for their own sake, and also to actively engage in encounters between members of the faiths it studies in order to promote tolerance and cooperation among them. This implies not only a knowledge of doctrines, rituals, institutions, etc., but also the capacity to empathetically enter into the world of religions. On the other hand, by the very fact that he aims at empathy and understanding, he can indirectly further the attitude of tolerance and sympathy. Religion is the oldest human pursuit, but still no precise definition of it has been given till today. Two broad forms of religions can be found: individual and social. By individual form of religion, we mean that form in which an individual makes silent efforts to establish communion with whatever he takes divine. Whitehead takes religion as something which an individual does with his solitariness, or Dr. Radhakrishnan takes it as the culture of the soul. By social form of religions is meant that form under which several people form one religious group by virtue of entertaining more or less the same set of spiritual convictions and observing more or less the same kind of religious practices, either individually or congregationally. Throughout the history of religious studies, there have been many attempts to define the term religion. Many of these have been monothetic, seeking to determine a key, essential element which all religions share, which can be used to define religion as a category and which must be necessary in order for something to be classified as a religion. There are two forms of monothetic definition. The first are substantive, seeking to identify a specific core as being at the heart of religion, such as a belief in a god or gods, or an emphasis on power. The second are functional, seeking to define religion in terms of what it does for humans. For instance, defining it by the argument that it exists to assuage fear of death, unite a community, or reinforce the control of one group over other. Other forms of definition are polythetic, producing a list of characteristics that are common to religion. In this definition, there is no one characteristic that need to be common to every form of religion. Definition of religion. Literally speaking, religion is a principle of unification and harmonization. It is based on the faith in the ultimate unity of man and God, the finite and the infinite. Galloway defines religion as man's faith in a power beyond himself, whereby he seeks to satisfy his emotional needs and gain stability of life, and which he expresses in acts of worship and service. William James defines religion as the feelings, acts, and experiences of individual man in their solitude, so far as they apprehend themselves to stand in relation to whatever they may consider the divine. Hofding defines religion as the faith in the conservation of values. From the above definitions, it becomes clear that first, religion is man's faith in a power mightier than himself, named as the Supreme Soul or God or Divine. Secondly, religion gives satisfaction, especially emotional satisfaction. Thirdly, religion is faith in the conservation of values. There are religions like Buddhism and Jainism which do not believe in God, while religions like Judaism, Christianity, and Islam which believe in God. Yet all are called religions alike. It is due to the following general teachings. Each one possesses certain specific convictions or beliefs with regard to the world, to life situation as a whole. In the light of these convictions, each one prescribes a specific way of life for its followers. Keeping in view the above two features of every prevailing religion of the world, it may be defined as a specific way of life based on certain specific convictions with regard to world and life situations as a whole. Now, the nature, aims and objective of comparative religion. Jordan has said comparative religion is a science and it uses the scientific method. Comparative religion critically evaluates the important beliefs of different religions. In his book Comparative Religion, Its Genesis and Growth, Louis H. Jordan has written, comparative religion keeps all the religions together. In this process, it compares the different religions, and in the process of comparison, it presents a reliable estimation of the claims and values of different religions. Comparative religion is a scientific study of the various features of different religions of the world in a comparative perspective. It is a recent development. In order to study one's own religion, we have to make a comparative study of all the religions. Such a study requires an impartial, neutral, and tolerant outlook and if there is any leaning for any religion, it must be for the sake of religion only. Comparative study of religion bridges the gap between religions and brings them closer. India has taken a tolerant attitude towards the various religions of the world. Parinder has very nobly and honestly recognized that India is used to many religions and regards them as different ways to the one goal with a rare tolerance. A comparative study of religions should be justified, not just giving judgment, but scientifically studying the salient features of all religions in a neutral and detached manner. Too much detachment is not desirable. Comparative study of religion leads to new avenues. Religions of all living faiths and their essence does not consist in their bare externals such as rituals, methods of prayer, armories. It consists in their inner beliefs and convictions. It has to be evaluative and critical. Criticism of a religion must be made within the framework of its own beliefs, ideas, and practices. While comparing religions, judgments are to be based upon standards common to all of them. And until each religion that proposes a standard of its own by which to measure other religions is also measured by standards proposed by other religions. A very balanced mind, unbiased, unprejudiced, trained in scientific neutrality, and yet sensitive to the deeper convictional aspects of religion is required to undertake and accomplish this task. A comparative study of religion is supposed to make us more Catholic in our sympathies, more just and generous in our attitude to foreigners, more magnanimous towards orthodox people. Only a believer in religion should undertake the task of studying religions belonging to different ages and people. Hence, comparative religion presupposes a humanistic approach towards religions. Problems or objections. Since religion is a subjective affair, hence it is difficult to make it objective study. But then, objection comes from subjectivity. Comparative religion gives rise to a new, acceptable, rational, religio-rational power. Problem is related to giving the definition of religion, but comparative religion does not aim at establishing a new definition of religion. Comparative religion is a method of studying different religions. Hence, its study is not arbitrary but specific and universal. Comparative religion can develop hatred and enmity among religions, but this is not correct. If comparison is done in an unprejudiced, unarbitrary, and sympathetic way, the above problem will not arise. Parinder says, the important thing is to see that the comparison has been in the proper way and its critical evaluation is also done. Comparative religion is faced with the problem of comparing religions having different origin, history, theories of practice. But the aim is not to compare all these, but to find out the points of similarities and differences among them. Since all religions consider their own religion as the best, The problem is how can we compare them? It tries to find out the fundamental and universal elements in all the religions and thereby solves the problem of defining religion. Hence, we can conclude by saying religion is natural to man. It is based on certain convictions and beliefs regarding the world and life situation. Every religion aims at bringing peace and harmony in one's life by solving one's problems. Hence, a comparative study of religion also aims at finding out the universal elements of all religions, thereby unifying and harmonizing different religions.